It begins with a feeling every rider knows: the hum of the engine, the open road, and a sense of absolute freedom. This ride started like any other, on a stretch of smooth asphalt that seemed to stretch endlessly toward the setting sun. The wind, a constant companion, presses against the rider's jacket, a familiar and reassuring pressure. Around him, the symphony of the highway plays out: the deep roar of his own engine, the higher-pitched whine of cars, the distant rumble of trucks. It's a sensory immersion, a world where the rider and machine feel like one. The helmet cam captures it all with unflinching clarity. The speedometer hovers at a steady clip, the thrill of motion is palpable, and the surrounding traffic flows like a fast-moving river of steel and glass. In these moments, the rider is in a state of flow, hyper-aware and yet completely at ease. Every input is precise, every movement calculated. It's a dance of speed and control that feels almost second nature. But inside that intoxicating rush, danger hides in plain sight. The highway is a shared space, but not everyone shares the same level of awareness. For the motorcyclist, every car is a world of its own, a bubble of distraction where a ringing phone, a crying child, or a simple daydream can have devastating consequences. The rider is exposed, a single point of vulnerability in a sea of protected drivers. Ahead, the rhythm breaks. The biker spots a long, dense line of cars, their brake lights glowing like embers in the fading light. The fast-moving river has become a stagnant pond. For a car, this is a minor inconvenience. For a motorcyclist, it's a cage. Then he sees it: the gap. A narrow, tempting path between the lanes of crawling traffic. It's the promise of escape, the perfect chance to split through and leave the gridlock behind. In his mind, the calculation is instantaneous. I'm skilled enough, I'm fast enough, I've done this 1,000 times. It's a whisper of confidence that will soon be silenced. He commits. A slight lean, a practiced twist of the wrist, and the engine note rises as he accelerates. The bike responds instantly, sliding between the rows of cars like a shadow threading a needle. For a few fleeting seconds, it feels perfect. The motion is fast, fluid, unstoppable. He's beating the system, outsmarting the traffic. The world blurs into a corridor of metal, the strobing lane lines marking his rapid progress. This is the very thrill he was seeking. But then, it happens. The delicate balance of speed, space, and assumption is shattered in an instant. One driver, perhaps glancing at a map or lost in thought for just a moment, decides to change lanes. There is no warning, no flicker of a turn signal, just a sudden, decisive drift into the rider's path. The biker's reflexes are sharp, honed by years of riding. He reacts instantly, grabbing the brakes, his body tensing for impact. But at 80 kilometers per hour, physics is a cruel master. There is no time to stop, no space to swerve, and no mercy to be found. The escape route he thought he had has vanished. The handlebars clip the car's side mirror with a sharp crack. It's a seemingly minor impact, but it's enough to send a catastrophic shockwave through the bike. The front wheel wobbles violently, a death shake that no amount of skill can correct. In less than a heartbeat, the bike is no longer under his control, slamming sideways into another vehicle in the adjacent lane. The world dissolves into a chaotic blur. The camera shakes violently, tumbling through a horrifying cycle of ground, sky, ground. The air fills with the shriek of metal grinding against asphalt and the sickening crunch of plastic and steel. Then, an eerie silence descends, punctuated only by the faint, rhythmic ticking of the hot engine and the distant, indifferent sound of traffic that has already moved on. The bike's engine sputters one last time and dies. The entire event, from the initial lane change to the final impact, happened in under 2 seconds. It's a brutal, visceral reminder that the practice of lane splitting is never as safe as it looks. When you're on a motorcycle, your physical protection is minimal. Your true armor is foresight, anticipation, and space. Your margin for error is effectively zero. Every movement in traffic is a potential variable in a complex, high-speed equation. Every car is a potential trap, surrounded by blind spots where a motorcycle can disappear completely from a driver's view. The rider was experienced, skilled, and confident. But on two wheels, confidence untempered by caution can be the most dangerous feeling of all. It can lead a rider to overestimate their ability to react and underestimate the unpredictability of others. Looking back at the footage, scrubbing through it frame by agonizing frame, the anatomy of the disaster becomes clear. The warning signs, though subtle, were there. Watch closely. The car's front wheel turns a few degrees just before the vehicle begins to drift. It's a tiny, almost imperceptible clue, a form of body language for cars that most riders, especially at speed, will miss. This is the moment the driver's intention became an action. That half second of heightened attention, of actively looking for that specific clue, could have provided just enough time to brake or change position. It could have saved him. This was a classic lane-splitting crash, one of the most common and devastating types of accidents involving urban riders. The maneuver, also known as filtering, is legal in some regions and illegal in others, but its inherent risks are universal. The combination of narrow gaps between vehicles, the impatience of both riders and drivers, and a significant speed differential creates the perfect storm for disaster. Safety experts who study these incidents offer clear guidelines. They recommend that if you must lane split, you should never travel more than 15 kilometers per hour, or about 10 miles per hour, faster than the flow of surrounding traffic. But as this footage shows, it's a rule that is too often ignored in the heat of the moment. The result is tragically predictable. Thousands of accidents every year, ranging from minor scrapes to life-altering injuries and fatalities, all stemming from a few seconds of misjudgment. This rider survived. He was diagnosed with a broken arm, 3 fractured ribs, and severe bruising. In the stark calculus of motorcycle accidents, he was lucky to be alive. His gear tells the story of the forces involved. The deep scrapes on his helmet show where it absorbed the primary impact with the pavement, protecting his head from catastrophic injury. His gloves are shredded, a testament to the instinct to put one's hands out. The heavy textile of his jacket is torn open at the shoulder and elbow, the built-in armor having done its job. His gear saved him from a far worse fate, but the most powerful story is the one told by this footage, a lesson every rider should hear and take to heart. Speed and skill are valuable assets, but they are never enough to compensate for a lack of patience and situational awareness. The highway is a place of duality. It can represent freedom and escape one moment, and then transform into a chaotic, unforgiving trap in the blink of an eye. When you choose to split lanes, you are making a gamble. You are betting your health and potentially your life on the assumption that every driver around you is paying full attention. And in the modern world of constant digital distraction, that is a losing bet. So the next time you're on your bike, stuck in traffic, and you feel that familiar urge to weave between the cars, remember this crash. Remember the 2 seconds that changed everything. Take a deep breath, slow down, wait it out, and manage your space. The frustration of a few minutes in traffic is nothing compared to the lifetime of regret that can follow a single bad decision. Arriving a little late is always, without exception, better than not arriving at all.